God, what did I get myself into? I'm a bit overwhelmed. Oh guys, I'm not gonna lie, this hasn't been easy. I've just filmed my Liz Taylor fabric haul, which is why I still have the red lipstick. And I try to film it on my good camera, so I have done photography, like a bit of photography, so I have a proper DSLR camera. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna film on that, it's gonna be so much nicer quality. Oh, but then
my camera doesn't speak to my mic. The camera is like not the nearest to the app to connect.
But this is not what we're here to talk about today. I'm sorry, I really had it on my chest, I had to get it out. But today we're gonna talk about knitting along stripes with Kika. So I'm a massive fan of Kika. I'm not joking. I went to like look back at all old video. Like I just find her so nice. She has such a nice energy, and she kind of like inspired me to start my YouTube channel as well, because she talks about following the inspiration and the energy. And I was just like, I really want, like, she brings me so much joy, and if I can be that for someone as well, I'd really like it. So I bought her book, but digitally, because her book was 30 euros, which is expensive for just a book, but you know, supporting a small business and everything, I was really happy to. But then the shipping were another 20 something euros. So I think altogether the book was going to cost me 52 euros. And I was like, oh, 52 euros, that's starting to stretch it a little bit. So I bought the digital version, and in the end I'm quite happy because it means I've highlighted my size everywhere. So you know, I can take notes, I can reprint it. So in the end, I'm like, oh, maybe it wasn't a bad thing to have bought the digital version. I can scribble on it and take this with me and not have to take the entire book where I go everywhere. So this is it. So I have her book, and I actually want to knit everything in the book because I'm a bit of a all or nothing person like that. So I really am looking forward to knitting all that. But today I want to talk about the knit along she does in March and April. We're already mid-March, so I really have to like get started, because otherwise I'm not going to be finished for end of April for this knit along. But it's a knit along for stripes. And I decided to use her Stay Up Till Dawn sweater. So that's the pattern I'm using. This is not a stripe pattern, so I'm adding the stripes myself, so I'll also have to play a bit by ear with that. This is the yarn I bought. As it's my third knitting project, I'm really not super confident yet, and so I didn't want to just buy yarn and hope that it would work. I was like, I'm just gonna buy the one she used for her model, and that really reassured me. The issue is that she used the Drops Wish, and the Drops Wish is actually discontinued, but I found a shop in Germany who was still selling it online, so I got exactly the same as her, the Drops Wish. So soft, it's so nice, just the swatch, touching it was such a pleasure. Sorry, my legs are really cracking. I have a really cracky body. I hope it's not too loud and annoying. So this is baby alpaca, cotton, and merino wool, and it's just really lovely. And the vision I have is, so I'm really into those marine top, you know, stripy white and blue, but I wanted to add a twist. And so I want the jumper to be mainly white, and then with the blue stripes, and then an accent of mustard. And I think that's as Noemi as you can get in a jumper. I'm super excited. So that's the yarn I bought. I think I bought one extra ball, and she said, because as I was using different colors, I was like, oh, I don't want to run out of one color, and yeah, I panicked a bit. So I bought a bit more than what she said. I realized I didn't mention the colors of the yarns I'm using. I've also learned that these are cakes and not balls, as I like to call them, or even better, bobbles. No, those are cakes. The yarn is discontinued, so it might be hard to find the colors, but I still wanted to mention the colors I'm using. Kika, in the model she made, used color 1. I use color 2 for the white color, 12 for the mustard, and 16 for the dark blue. So this way you have my references in case you still can find it. For the needles, I also had to buy everything because I don't have anything at the moment. I mean, I just have the needles I knitted my oil sweater on, and that was 15 millimeter, but here I need to knit in the round for the first time. So I bought the Chiago bamboo tips. So I actually watched a video from Liz Taylor, her again, sorry, and she kind of like reviewed many knitting needles that she liked. And what she really liked in the Chiago needles is the fact that the red cable doesn't remember shape, and so if you put it in your bag and then you unravel it, it shouldn't be all twisted and shouldn't have kept the shape of your bag. I was quite impressed by how much you have to buy for knitting, because you have to buy the different tips and then the different cable length, and then the different cables don't all match all the tips. So I was like, wow, this is not as minimalistic as I imagined, but it's all good. Liz Taylor preferred the metal ones, but I really enjoyed my wooden needles from the oil sweater from We Are Knitter. I have made a video all about it, and I'm gonna be cheeky and be like, watch the video here if you want to. Ooh, feels very YouTubey to do that. But so I did buy the bamboo ones as well for this. I just really like the feel of wood needles. So I've actually already started, not much. I have my cast on stitches and I think 6 stitches, and then I had to stop yesterday night. So what you're gonna see next is me yesterday night trying to figure out all this. And I was a bit overwhelmed, you're gonna see, but I'm very excited to knit this jumper. I hope I'm gonna be able to finish it within the time of the knit along. Yeah, I'm just really enjoying learning something new with knitting. That's quite exciting. I mean, you know, with sewing, I'm still learning new things and it's still exciting, but with knitting, it's like brand new, and so it's quite exciting. And yeah, you are going back in time to see Noemi from yesterday night now. Hey, I will try to film when the light is a bit nicer than this. Obviously here it's like the evening, so I have the overhead light, but it's also the truth. It's currently 9 p.m. and I'm starting my Stay Up Till Dawn sweater from Kika. I think I will film the intro tomorrow morning after this way I can show you the yarn with the nice light. So currently I'm gonna put you down. Currently I'm trying to decide which size I should make, and I'm a bit unsure because she says choose a size that is 30 to 40 centimeters bigger than your bust circumference. And the size that this gives me, I'm worried it's going to be small, and I don't want to make it too small. So I think I'm going to go one size up from that. Yeah, it's a bit the unknown. So we're going to see what that makes. It's literally, so summary, if you haven't seen my previous knitting video, but the only sweater I've made is the oil sweater from We Are Knitter, and I have one other knitting project I'll go and show you. This is the only other project I've ever made. This is a tiny Sydney terrace house from Boy Who Knits the World, Boy Knits World. So I made 1.5 of these. This house took me 5.5 hours to knit, and I have 56 to have a whole blanket, like a whole little suburb. So it's gonna take a while. So just for full transparency, I've made the jumper you've seen and not this. So the raglan jumper I'm about to start is gonna be my 3rd knitting project. So, oh gosh, oh my god, what did I get myself into? It's so, yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I never use circular needles, but I have done the swatch for this already, and I was on point for the swatch, so I am reassured, but I don't know, it feels like a lot. So I am now going to watch a few YouTube videos to try to figure out how to knit in the round, because I have never done that. So, and then we're starting with the neck. And Kika recommends a twist rib. So I also want to figure out what that is, because I did a normal rib on my old sweater and I wasn't a huge fan. So I am going to try to figure out what this twist rib is. It's a lot, and let's go. Let's try this. We believe. No, guys, we're gonna be fine, because to knit, the only one thing you truly need, scientifically proven, is a very pretty project bag, and I have that, and a whole lot of belief that you can make anything. So let's go. The assistant has given up. Not gonna come and knit with me? No? We are regaining confidence. It's actually super easy. So first, I don't need to do a magic loop, so that's a problem for future Noemi, because I think I'll need to use a magic loop for the sleeves, because I'm not gonna do double pointed needles. That looks like some other type of torture, so not getting there. But so for now, that means I only have to, I think literally my cable is the right length. So I just need to join the thing, join the round. The technical term is called join the work in the round. So super easy. I'm feeling confident. And then the twist rib just means that when you knit your knits, you knit in the back loop instead of the front, and you do your pearls normal. So that also seems fine. So now I'm like full of confidence. Let's see in a bit, but at the moment I'm like, it's gonna be easy, it's gonna be great. Woo! Let's see how this goes. So I thought I'd be able to avoid the magic loop for now, but honestly, yeah, Milo, I know, big sigh, but I think I need it because this, it doesn't join, so magic loop it is. Oh my God, I'm like, it's almost 10:30, so Milo's gonna need to go out. Yeah, we're gonna go out. So I think I'm just gonna have finished my round, and that's gonna be it for today. But I really enjoyed it so far. I just cast it on, but okay, magic round it is. I was excited for this to be easy. This is not easy. Okay. I have 3 stitches done, as you can see, and it took me 10 minutes to figure that out. I couldn't make the magic loop work, but I'm making this magic small loop, my own version. What do you think, Milo? You judging? Look, I'm doing it this way. The magic loop, it wasn't working, and then the moment I actually had to do the twist rib, even though I was like, oh, easy through the back loop, that's perfect, I was like, I'm so confused, where's the back loop? I know, I'm a beginner knitter, guys, don't forget. But so I was trying to find the back loop, and I was looking at this tutorial about, sorry, I'll show my face. Looking at this, otherwise you just see my knitting. I was looking at this tutorial about how to twist, rib, knit. And I was like, it's what I normally do. And so I had to look at a tutorial about a normal rib stitch, like rib, knit. Oh my God, rib, knit. I was like, okay, that's what I normally do. So what's the other one? Look very slowly, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. So yeah, Milo, yeah. So slowly we're getting there. Yeah, not much has happened tonight, but I think that sometimes starting is the hardest, because once I'm going, then we can just like go around and round and round. I watched a video where the lady was like, oh, I don't put a stitch marker because the tail is enough to help me, but I think I'm not going to be cocky. I'm going to go to my wife's crochet bag and find a stitch marker and use that, because this is being painful enough already. So you guys know, you are not on a tripod, you are leaning on a corgi. This is the corgi holding you up. Okay, I almost want to say, please someone remind me to turn the wash back on when I'm finished talking with you guys, because I paused it because I know it's going to be very loud while I'm filming. Okay, I think you can see my head. I think it's going to be very loud while I'm filming, so I paused the laundry, but I really need to restart it once I'm done. Where are you guys on that side? I really need to restart it, otherwise it's not gonna be cleaned for the end of the evening. It's currently 9:20, so I have about 40 minutes before I'm gonna go out and walk with Milo for his last walk of the evening. And I thought, well, normally I would actually take a YouTube video, and yes, you can come up. I would take a YouTube video and then I would knit and watch a YouTube video, and I thought, what about I take you guys? I really want to chat about a few things, and really I hope that you are knitting or sewing while you listen to this, because that's what I always do. It's really, for me, YouTube is what I have in the background while I'm being crafty. You can come up, Milo. He wants to come up, he's just here, you can't see him. He wants to come up, but he's a bit too lazy sometimes. And so he actually doesn't jump up because he's hoping someone's gonna carry him, but you can do this. Good boy, good boy. Okay, trying to get, oh my God, he really likes the smell of yarn as well. So what I use for my knitting is I use an elastic, just in order to stop the needles from moving. I have a stitch marker that kind of moves as well, so I don't want it to move anywhere. What I wanted to show, I also have, well, that's my general to-do list, but on the top you can see I have lots of little balls, and every time I do a row I cross one of those balls because that's my way of counting. So I need to do 16 rows of this rib stitch. Every time I do one, I count it, and this way I know where I'm up to. So when I did my first sweater, which was the oil sweater by We Are Knitters, but I have a bit this stress which is relieved by counting. So when I knit, I find it really reassuring to keep counting, for example, that I haven't lost any stitches, that where I'm up to in the rows, etc. And I count a lot. And in my jumper, every 2 rows I would recount where, if I hadn't lost any stitches, so I would count all of my stitches, which was fine because I had only 34 across for the front and 34 for the back as well, so it wasn't too much. But then, you know, even just counting the rows at the end, it was quite a few. And here I have 64 stitches or something like that. I mean, you know, it takes a lot longer already to count 64 stitches, but then I was also like, at some point you need to trust the process, right? Like, I'm very curious if someone else keeps counting everything a bit compulsively, like, is it needed? Like, can I just trust that I'm not? I also think because I'm a little bit better now, I probably don't lose stitches like I used to, or, you know, maybe when you're starting, you divide them into, because you knit through your yarn, but I think I'm getting better, and I think it's all right. So trying to stop counting is my new goal. Talking about counting, wait, I always like to, I'm doing the rib stitch at the moment, twist rib stitch, and I always like to finish, so I knit and I purl, and I always like to finish on a purl. This way I know that no matter what I need to knit next. Sorry, Milo, just want to show people. Talking about counting, I'm always super confused. So, you know, when you try to, okay, unrelated, I tried to take photos of this project today, and it's so fuzzy, it's impossible to have it, sorry, I'm used to having you on that side and on this side today. It's so fuzzy that I can't have a non-blurry looking photo of it. It's like really nice because it's gonna be really cozy, but I can't have a nice photo of it. So what I wanted to show you was, when I'm trying to count this and count how many rows I have done, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But actually I've just done 4, and that's because this is the cast on stitch. I think I understand. I always kind of thought, well, this, the bottom line is the cast on, and this, I don't know what it is. So, but I have noticed from counting a lot that, no, clearly this is just the cast on, the first one, but I don't know, I find it very, very confusing, because if you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looks like 5, and then if you count the purl at the back, it looks different, and yeah, clearly have a lot of thoughts about counting. Talking about counting, I tried today not to refresh my page a million times, because yesterday I also got a bit compulsive with it, and it's really addicting because every time you go, you have a couple more views, and it took me. So wait, I started my channel on Friday and we are today Wednesday night. So it took me until Tuesday, yesterday, to reach 100 views. I was refreshing and I was walking Milo, I had 95 views, and just before bed, I reached 100 views. So I felt really happy and really nice. And today I reached I'm almost at 200 views, so it feels very exciting, but I'm also trying to count down during the day and not just keep refreshing, because I mean, you know, I think the numbers can kind of go to your head, and I mean, look at me and my almost 200 views, 11 subscribers. I'm not saying that fame is going to my head, but it's more the fact that it gets a bit compulsive and you really go and check in. And I'm already worried to maybe risk adapting my sewing and my knitting for the channel, and I absolutely don't want that. And don't get me wrong, I really want to take good care of you. I want you to have fun in this channel, and I want it to be a positive experience for you too. So if I can do anything that would make it a more positive experience for you guys, for example, I'm sure you want to see Milo better to have a better experience. Here you are. You should be able to see Milo better. Very unflattering angle for myself, but it doesn't matter. It's all for the dog in this house. So if I can do anything that makes the experience of viewing better for you guys, obviously I want to do it, and feel free to let me know if you have any ideas of something you would want me to do to improve the channel. However, sewing and knitting are hobbies for me, and I want them to keep them that way, and I don't want to sew maybe something I wouldn't wear, I wouldn't normally sew, or you know, I don't want to adapt my hobbies for YouTube, because YouTube is another hobby, and a hobby that goes together with my first one. But I mean, I think you see what I mean. Like, I don't want YouTube to come at the expense of actually sewing. But for example, it's been raining quite a bit, and I do want to make a, I'm sorry, I hope I'm not driving you crazy doing all this. I do want to make a raincoat for Milo. And since I thought I want to make a raincoat for Milo and I have a YouTube channel, I keep thinking probably a video about making a raincoat for my dog would be quite popular. And so I've been a bit stressed because obviously waterproof fabric isn't so easy to come by. I mean, I don't think they have it at my usual fabric store. I've looked, but I don't think they have waterproof fabric. So I'm probably gonna have to go to another one, a bigger one. And I already have a pattern, but I need to adapt it because Milo is very long, but obviously not very big. So I couldn't buy him a raincoat because nothing fit. So I'm gonna make him something, but so I need to adapt the pattern a little bit. It was a free pattern, by the way. If I remember, I will put it down in the show notes. If you want it and I have not put it in the show notes, ask me in the comments and I will give it to you. So yeah, so I'm a bit like, I don't want to rush into sewing this coat, especially because now it's raining a little bit less and I already want to finish my first project before making it. I don't want to make the coat just for the channel. I will make the coat probably at some point, but I'll see when I make it. I was also thinking a lot about painting, because painting is one of my 3 crafty hobbies with sewing, with knitting. I mean, I also do dance, but this is not going to become a dance channel, so that's all good. But originally I called this La Fraise, sewing, knitting and painting. And then I don't know, because I know that the algorithm really doesn't like various topics. And also, I'm not so good at painting. I'm actually really not good at painting. I've been painting for a year and a half and I've been suffering almost the whole time. I only very recently started fully enjoying painting, which is beautiful. I love the fact that now I enjoy it. And I'm glad I persevered, but all that to say, I don't have a natural talent with painting. I've just been working a lot. And I don't really know what I would share. I mean, I have a couple of ideas. So if I feel like it, I will have a couple of painting videos. What I mean is that I don't want it to be in the channel title, because I think it's not really a third sewing, a third knitting, a third painting. It's going to be sewing first, knitting second, and then maybe a little bit of painting sprinkled here and there. So that was the thought, but again, it's very difficult not to get already influenced by, oh, if you do a painting video, it's not going to be good for the algorithm, it's bad for your channel needs a specific niche, blah, blah. But you know what? I do this for fun. I do what I want. I mean, I just hope you guys enjoy it, but as long as you guys enjoy it, I do what I want. Oh my god, the light is so unflattering. Another thing I want to talk about is filming yourself. I thought I had a fairly fine body image, and filming myself confirms that I'm good seeing myself, I'm good hearing myself. But oh boy, you notice everything about your face. I noticed the crease I had in my forehead I never saw before. You notice all the little details, and really it's quite an experience. I mean, I understand how all the YouTubers, sorry, I'm trying to get rid of all of Milo's head. It's getting all in my yarn. Sorry, that was my elbow cracking. So yeah, it's quite something to see yourself so much, and then to have to accept that this is your face like that. I mean, I have a crease in my forehead. What do you want? It's just, I had never spoken to myself for so long, so I never got to see it. But now that I film myself and spend this time with myself, I see it. Okay, now I need to write down how many rows I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One last thing I wanted to talk about is that I hope that being on YouTube and not being a really good knitter, first, I hope that it really shows what I'm trying to preach, which is that you can make anything, and I truly believe it. I started sewing not that long ago, and I'm really branching out with my project. I'm not saying they're all perfect, but really, if you can dream it, you can make it. YouTube has so many tutorials for everything you can imagine. You know, there's so much you can learn, and everything's figure-outable, if that's a word. Yes, and knitting hasn't been too hard to learn so far. Again, YouTube has plenty of videos and tutorials for you, and there's definitely going to be one that's going to click with your way of learning. So I've been finding learning to knit quite nice and quite gratifying, especially because if it didn't work, you can frog it. You know, coming from sewing, if you cut some, oh my god, oh no, I need to re-pick up this stitch. Oh no, please don't fall. I'm really bad at picking up stitches when they fell. Okay, I had seen a video which told me specifically, that those needles, that they would never unscrew, and they have unscrewed on me. Okay, I am reassured, because for a second I thought I broke the wooden needle. I have heard of I have heard that this is the downside of wooden needles, that they can break easily. And I really thought that maybe I broke it, but no. Also, I heard wooden needles not great, because if you sit on them, they break. And I was like, who sits on the knitting needles? Well, shouldn't have thought that, because what did I do? Literally the same evening I had that thought, I sat on my metal needles, the ones I use for the little Sydney houses that I showed earlier. And now they're all bent, so great they didn't break, but they're definitely not straight anymore, so I hope that's not going to make for an interesting row of houses in the future. Okay, I'm really babbling. So what I wanted to say, I hope that this channel in general, with the knitting, with the sewing, and with the painting, because I had no talent and I have been working and improving slowly, shows you that if you want to learn something, and maybe you will never be the best at it, but if you want to learn something, I think everything can be learned. And so that's what I want to inspire you of today. Look at me, knitting in the round for the very first time in my life, doing twist ribs for the very first time in my life, all this on camera. I mean, this is my second jumper, and I'm, you know, not very fast, but very much enjoying it. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I hope that this channel kind of balances out all the knit tubers that are out there. Because when I see how much they knit and the rate of production, you know, a new jumper every, like, you know, it seems like they constantly have new jumpers. It's just not realistic. I started this video on Saturday night, I believe, and then you see me on Sunday night knitting while my wife is doing crochet on the couch. Yes, it was Monday. You see us, so I keep saying sewing. You see us doing crochet and knitting on the couch on Monday. It's now Wednesday. I didn't have time to knit in between. I have a day job. After work, I come back. I had to do the groceries. I had to cook. I went for a run today. That's, by the way, why my hair is wet. It's not just gross. It's freshly washed and it's air drying, if you were wondering. So all of this takes time, and here, you know, I started knitting at 9:20. It's now 9:40, and then I'm going to walk Milo in 20 minutes. So I have another 20 minutes of knitting and that's it. So it's not so much time, and especially knitting, at least you can do a little bit at the time. I find I'm quite comfortable just knitting for 10 minutes and then stopping. But with sewing, if you have 10 minutes, for me, you can't do anything. I need to have quite a chunk of time in front of me. So I sew mainly during the weekend, really, really rarely on an evening night. And then otherwise mostly on holidays. It's like once I'm on holidays, in 1 week I can do 7 projects. But then the rest of the time it's only weekends, and it doesn't go so fast because I have a day job. I'm in an office and everything. So just wanted to put a bit of realistic expectation into all this, because, you know, if you just compare yourself with the professional knitting tubers, well, you might be disappointed in yourself. And if you can be like, well, I knit as fast or as slow as Noemi, then maybe you feel better about yourself. And you know what, guys? I think that's it for tonight. I look at my list of topics I wanted to talk about, and I have talked about everything. I also want to put the wash back on so that it's finished on time, so I can hang it once I'm back from walking with Milo. And I really want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little chit chat. Maybe this is the end, in which case I will already film it now, and then I'll remove it if I film again tomorrow. But I want to tell you, and Milo, oh my god, I'll show you Milo. Guys, I'm obsessed with my dog, but look how cute he is. It's really all of my dreams come true, this dog sleeping next to me. It's really all I hoped for. You know, I was hoping for a little cuddle bug, and that's what I have. This is basically a teddy bear, but alive. Sorry, I'll stop waffling, and I'll free you to your next YouTube video or whatever you want to do with your day. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I really hope you're having a nice time on my channel. I'm having a really nice time filming all this, so hopefully you're having a nice time too. And I really want to tell you that you can definitely make anything. Bye. Damn it, I talked to you for like half an hour and I totally forgot my tea, so it's gonna be extremely overbrewed. Oops.